have so many problems with this. This is just, it is gross, it is vile. These men said yes to gross and vile. These men smelt, saw, and felt gross and disgusting and vile, and they said yes, please. How lost of a human being do you have to be to accept that? Heyo, so, if you watched yesterday's video, you would know what I'm going to be talking about today. For those who didn't watch it, what I'm going to be talking about today is Lily Phillips. And my take on this is a bit toasty. Once again, if you watched last video, you might know my toasty take. However, for now, what we're going to be doing is we're just going to watch 2 clips that I have found. We're going to watch over them, and then I'm going to digress my thoughts as things devolve and continue on to melt my brain. Ready? Alright. Yeah, I knew you were, because I'm not. Let's get into it.
But what then would you suggest my mother does? Like,
try to talk you out of it. Like a mom. Mom is supposed to guide their children when they're doing decisions like that and say, listen, I understand you may think this is that, or you may think it's this way, but you're a beautiful young girl. You have your entire future ahead of you. You have 2 parents that love you. You know, you could marry a man and raise children and have a happily ever after. Or you could be the girl who everyone knows, who can't have a child that goes to school without people making fun of them. I mean, imagine having a son and they say, like, you know, your mom's on the internet, I watched her get by 100 men, you know, or a daughter, you know, something which is just like, it's so precious, that relationship between a mother and their daughter, you know, like your mother should want to guide you in that way and say, like, this is the path that you could have. Like, your future could be amazing, and you're giving it up for, this is not, by the way, fame, it's infamy. You know, you're establishing yourself as someone who's going to be infamous. It's going to pass so quickly. The money's going to be in your bank account, and then there's going to be the next girl trying to one up it, and no one's going to care anymore. You're going to fade into irrelevancy, but you're never going to have a normal relationship, and that's what your mother should be telling you if she actually loves you.
Okay. What I see from Candace giving this speech is a bit of that nature versus nurture kind of stuff. Candace, being a mother of her own, she tends to go towards the more nurture side of things. And I'm gonna be honest, we can just take this side of the equation, the nurture side, and throw that out the window, because this is utter garbage of a take. Sorry, not Candace's take, it's not garbage. The parents should be reprimanded for this. How can you claim yourself as a parent and yet your child turns to denigration of themselves in order to find success in life? I don't think they're parents. They're just donors. They're just bodily donors to a child. That's all they are. They're not actual parents. A parent is meant to parent their kid, to not have to go beneath the waist in order to find anything valuable in life in what they do. Now we're going to watch a different video. This one is from ABBA and Preach. They're going over... I didn't watch this full thing. 28 minutes. I don't know if I'm going to cover the whole entire thing for this video. Kinda don't think I will. But I did want to watch it because I did have thoughts. Let us get into it.
and if you're willing to participate.
Are you going to kiss any of the guys?
Definitely.
What's up? Today's topic. Ooh, I ended up...
Okay. That was the intro clip. But, I have so many questions for how mentally devolved these men are for what they have done. I have heard that one of the dudes who went there brought flowers.
Boy, ain't no fucking way, boy.
I have now heard that some of the men kissed her. I have also heard that some of the men didn't even get off. And then there is the, of course, ending question of How are you the 100th person and say, yup, I'm gonna stick my body part into this hole that is oozing white fluid? How? There is a this whole entire thing to me is the opposite this is the two spectrums of womanism and red pill guru dumb stuff. Cause the red pill people will be like, oh, it's 100 bodies, it's gross. My thing is, if she has slept with 100 people prior, it's a bit odd. I think it's quite disgusting, to be honest, because I don't know how you give your body up to that many people without any prior thought to any of what you're doing. I don't get that. That is the womanist nature of it. However, there's a difference between having 100 bodies prior to sleeping with them versus you actively saying, I'm gonna be the 100th dude. And you know it for a fact because there were 99 other dumb schmucks before you. And now I have to pose a hypothetical question. Is it worse to be the 100th dude, to walk into that room with the stench, the protection, the white fluid oozing out of the hole you're actively saying, I'm gonna stick my tool into there? Is it worse to be the 100th dude in that position? Or is it worse to be the dude who is, like, let's say, 62nd, who stuck his tool into a white oozing hole, but yet still did not get off? So in other words, they stuck their tool in for nothing! I blame the men for this whole entire situation. I blame men 150% thousandfold. I blame men. Cause if it wasn't for men who actively say, I want to join up to be the 100th dumb, then this wouldn't have happened. If it wasn't for men signing up for a woman to show her body parts on for something that you could do for free, then this wouldn't be happening. Or, men could try to stop giving into their lower desires and instead try to find a higher desire in themselves and stop watching spicy content. Because if men did that, none of this stuff would begin none of this stuff would begin or start in the first place or even exist. It's like a womanist bar opening up saying, we're only going to have ladies be allowed in this bar, and then none of the ladies buy a drink because it's only men who do that. If men didn't exist to propagate this material, none of this stuff would exist. I don't blame the women. I actually don't blame the women at all. I blame the men completely, 100%. Forget about the women in this whole entire action. Do I think they're shameful? Absolutely. No question about that. But if it wasn't for the men, none of this shameful behavior would be propagated. Okay, now I have talked quite a bit. Let us get back to it.
Watching the documentary on the girl who did the 100 guys, because it's a documentary that they did about everything.
You mean the prawn?
No, it's a documentary.
Oh, okay.
But there's some really interesting parts, so I figured we watch some of this. I'm open, not as much as her, but not as much as her legs.
Lamborghini doors.
All right, let's take a listen.
Have you recognized any of the names in here of people that you might know?
Oh yeah, definitely. There's been some guys outwardly say we used to go to school together.
Man, that took no time flat and I'm already pausing again. How do you not have any shame as a man? Oh, actually, you know what? Before we get back into this, there was another post I saw. This person stated, What is really bothering me is everyone is talking about Lily Phillips, who had S with 100 men in 24 hours, but no one is talking about the dudes who waited in line for their turn. Just a thought with the GIF double standard much. Now, I couldn't disagree. In fact, I would instead flip it around. I don't care that it was Lily Phillips who did it. I don't care. I care that 100 men went actively for this. Now, why do I bring up this post? It's not like I'm pointing out anything new, because I've already said this whole entire thing. Well, I bring this up because one of these really special individuals underneath, who goes by Tahazabear, said the very moronic statement of, a lock that can be opened with any key is a faulty lock, but a key that can open any lock is a master key. First of all, this whole entire thing doesn't even apply to this, because these men were opening a lock that was already open to begin with. She was actively asking for them to come here, not that she wasn't even, like, deciding. She was just saying, alright, you want to be here? Do you have a test done? Good? Alright, we're good. And the testing was questionary at best. So, the statement doesn't even fall in line here. But however, the reason why I bring this up is because, why are you proud of being a master key? Why are you proud of promoting degeneracy among men? Why are you proud about propagating the problem that you find within women? If it wasn't for the men being master keys, then there would be no faulty locks. If every man was a regular key that opened up a lock that is designated for said key, then there would be no need for a master key, as well as a faulty lock. But no. Men get the oodles of, oh well, women get to choose who get to sleep with them. Men merely have to, I don't know, what are the stupid statements that these dweebs say? I don't know. I don't pay that much attention, because it's all just stupid and ridiculous. Why are we making exceptions for degeneracy? I don't get it. I don't get it. These red pill dweebs will go on complaining that, oh, the women are promiscuous, oh, the women are doing this, oh, the women are doing that. But then they will praise the men who are creating these women. As the Bible says, treat others the way you want to be treated. So I don't get it. I don't get it. These red pill dweebs will put up so many roadblocks to say, oh, but the men are allowed to do it because women have the option, women have the choice. Why are we promoting degeneracy? Why? If it wasn't for men trying to be master keys in the dating market or being able to sleep market, then promiscuous women wouldn't exist. They just wouldn't, because there'd be no buyer. But no, you just have to make an exception for men because why? I don't get it. Such of a stupid thing that is happening nowadays, where we will attack one side of the political aisle while also throwing pearls to the complete opposite side of that spectrum that is creating that opposite spectrum. There's an equal and opposite reaction for everything that happens. If one side of red pill goes too far, there's gonna be a side of the womanist that goes too far. But no, for some reason when ladies do it, it is wrong. But when men propagate that behavior in ladies, then all of a sudden it's like, okay, yeah, continue doing that, you alpha male.
Now, let's take a look now at the actual 100 dudes in the setting up of, because in this documentary, they kind of cover some of the behind-the-scenes stuff, and it does get a bit
Gross.
What Lily had shown us so far was fairly in keeping with most creators on OnlyFans. However, what she was planning to do in a couple of weeks' time had never been seen before.
This is where the applications are coming through.
Look at all of those pathetic men. Look at them all. Just hurtling in as if they have a chance to ever talk to a lady like this or get into a relationship. How much do you want to bet? If Lily was wanting to be in a relationship, how many of these men who are DMing her or messaging her or whatever you want to call it, how many of those men do you think would jump at that chance to be in a relationship with Lily?
I had it switched off for a little bit, so it's just...
So how are you doing this? You put out a phone number
Yeah.
and people can just apply?
Yeah, so I put out a little Twitter post.
Lamborghini doors. Lamborghini doors.
All you do always have to send in a photo of you holding your ID. So this guy's from Belgium. He is 32. Oh, he's from Barbados. Jesus. We're going global.
Are these men not at all curious about how their family members are going to, like... You think that you're just gonna show up and sleep with a random woman, 1 out of 100 men, you're just gonna do that, and then you're not at all going to incur shame upon your family. Upon your family name, upon your family lineage. Your parents created you, and this is what you do with their hard work in bringing you up in life. You bring them degeneracy. Such patheticness.
Is this just going to be completely random as to how you pick them?
Yeah. Like we said, we prioritize the ones who have STI checks.
prioritize people with STI checks means that it's not mandatory.
Meaning if they got 55 that did that and then they can't get more than that, it's going to be that.
So the thing is, there's a reason why, at least in the prawn industry, everyone has to get tested, and it's like very malseen to be just sleeping with women off camera, raw, whatever it might be, because once it happens, and there's a slip up, you're banned from the whole industry. This girl's about to let 100 randoms who are incredibly thirsty, who are willing to fly anywhere, who are desperate for some poon, inside of her raw. And all she asks for is an STI check, which isn't even mandatory and doesn't mean much. You can fake those, 1. 2, you could also just dig an STI check and then within that time sleep with somebody else. There's already enough risk when you're sleeping with random people out here in the streets. There's even more risk when you're sleeping with dudes who are this incredibly thirsty to stand in line. Because you have to think the mentality of somebody who's willing to, because I'm not gonna lie to you, the men and me are just as pathetic as she is, if not more. She getting paid. You standing in line to rub with other guys and get an STD for free. No, not even free. Some of y'all flying in, so you're spending money to get sick. Yuck.
Can I say it?
Say what?
This is a sickness.
Yeah, I guess the only thing I'm nervous for is like for them to have a good time. I want to make sure they enjoy themselves and don't come away from it like, oh, I feel disgusted or that wasn't fun. 2006.
Oh my god!
So
how
what's
does that make him? So 18.
18, yeah. I mean, he does like 18, doesn't he? Hey there, I know I'm late, but would love to you and lose my virginity.
What a horrible way to lose your virginity. In the middle of some train.
Imagine your most valuable resource you have on planet Earth. I have $2 to my name. I have 2 seconds to my name. I have 2 parents in my name. I have I can get 2 of anything I want. 2 cars if I had the money. 2 phones if I had the money, 2 iPads if I had the money, 2, but I only have 1 virginity. And you give that up to someone who doesn't care about you, doesn't know you, will forget you 3 hours after, and if what she said is actually what happened, forgot you if you were in the center of the line. You gave your most valuable resource to someone who doesn't care about you. These men are without purpose, these men are pathetic, and these men are worthless. I mean that genuinely. I'm not being facetious about the words I'm using. I'm speaking quite literally. These men are nothing. They are not worth anything. I will tell you, if I found out one of my friends went out and did this, if I ever found out, I'm cutting them off. I'm cutting them off. This is such shameful, such denigrated behavior. It is unimaginable to even consider myself being a friend of one of these dudes. I don't hate them by any means, but certainly not a friend. Certainly not a friend. Certainly not someone I would consider to being close to me. These men are not... They're pathetic. They're pathetic excuses for men. They're pathetic excuses for testosterone. They're a pathetic excuse for a better society. They're a pathetic excuse. I have so many problems with this. This is just, it is gross. It is vile. These men said yes to gross and vile. These men smelt, saw, and felt gross and disgusting and vile. And they said yes, please. How lost of a human being do you have to be to accept that?
On a prawn star.
You know what's fucked up? You know what's fucked up? While you're standing in line. It's your first time, boy.
Nah, this is an L, bro. I don't care what nobody says. To me, this is a bigger L for men than it is for anyone else. Because as Nancy or whatever she is, thousands upon thousands of dudes signed up to be part of a train. Y'all are nasty.
This is.
She's nasty, but she get paid. Y'all are nasty.
100%. 100%.
Ugh. Losing his ugh. Hey man, imagine losing your virginity and you see more dudes than ladies.
I think other people in the industry definitely look down on me for doing this, but I think at the end of the day, people forget that it's also my fantasy.
It's your fantasy to catch more dudes than ladies.
I think other people in the industry definitely look down on me for doing this, but I think at the end of the day, people forget that it's also my fantasy.
Nobody cares. Oh my goodness, guys, it's my fantasy to be used and tossed away and not cared about. It is my fantasy. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. This is vile and gross. You're a disgusting human being. Like, I'll pray that you find Jesus, but holy Whitney. I don't care this is your fantasy. This is gross. This is vile. This is demonstratively vile and hideous in nature. I don't care this is your fantasy. I don't care if you spent $1,000 and you had this as a fantasy and you're like, oh my goodness, I don't care. I don't care. And I also don't care if you're a man who's like, oh, but I so badly wanted to be in a train. Like, I don't care. You're pathetic. This is gross. Unimaginably gross.
It's your fancy to catch STIs and STDs? Yeah, people are looking down on you not because you want to be freaky, but because you're a fucking idiot.
It's really because of the risk that they're looking down.
Like, any of these guys could have HIV. Any of these guys could have whatever else, syphilis, or lifelong things you're going to live with. This is like a super spreader event, and you think about it, because if she got something, she's giving it to 100 people, and if they got something, then they're giving it to her.
They're looking down on you because of the risk, not because of the... You have the means to make it safer. That's the thing. That's the worst part, is that you actually have the means to make that thing safe, to make it safe for your future partners, your future workers, and stuff like that.
Yep.
But you decide to, no, it's going to be on y'all. One of my fantasies. It's a bit selfish. What am I saying? It's selfish. And that's why people are looking down on it. Yep. And you're saying it like there's no risk. Like they're kind of crazy about looking down on you a bit.
I just want to have fun. I just want to have fun.
I understand.
Syphilis ain't fun. Stupid.
Our filming was interrupted briefly by a phone call from Lily's mother. Apparently, she calls Lily every day.
I'm gonna end it off here. You know what? Video down in the description. You can check it out if you want. I don't really care. In my honest opinion, the father of Lily should have a millstone tied to his neck and he should be thrown into the river. Because he's not a teacher by any means. He's a failure. An utter and unadulterated failure of a father. Do I feel bad for Lily because of her crying? Not at all. I don't feel bad at all. I don't care. I don't care. And to any of the men who do actively participate in this, if you guys end up with your lives getting destroyed over this, I don't care either way. Like, this is gross and vile, and if you as a man cannot see that, I don't care what happens. I don't care. It's just, I blame men. I blame men. I don't blame the women. I actually don't. I think what she has done is demonstratively gross. But I don't blame her, I blame the men. If it wasn't for the men, none of this would happen. If it wasn't for her father being a spineless a spineless failure, this wouldn't have happened. This is just a reflectant of today's culture and how far we have fallen. I blame men. And I honestly think that we should be blaming men far more than we are blaming the women. Screw blaming women for being on OnlyFriends. If it wasn't for the men who are supporting women being on that site, then that site wouldn't have a propagated fan base at all. I blame the men. I blame them. I put the full onus of blame on this whole entire conundrum onto men. As it is within the Bible. Men, women, children, and animals. God is of course above. If the men allow it, women will do it. Why are we having men allowing themselves to fall to their groin and listen to it? That's just about all I had to say on this. Next video, we'll be going over CNN deciding to accidentally commit no against the government. So I hope y'all, if you enjoyed today's video of me lambasting men, if you enjoyed it, I guess perhaps you might want to enjoy that video as well tomorrow. But until then, have a good one.